Hey guys, Anatoly from Define Agile here. In this short video, I just want to give you some examples what is different between the classic Jira projects that we're so used to and the next generation Jira projects. So we're going to create a Scrum project for next gen Jira and see what's the difference. So if we click on create project, and here you can already see it, you can choose a project type. So the classic project will allow you to do a whole bunch of different things, multiple boards, while a next gen project is really when you don't have Jira admin, it's very skinned down. It's also have a pretty nice UI, which classic projects sometimes can be confusing. So I think it's a path on the right direction, but it also missing some features yet. So if you have a complicated process, I would recommend you for now to stick to classic projects, especially if you do things like Scrum. But still, let's create one and let's see. So we can select classic or select next gen. Most of my tutorials are Jira Classic, but this one is an overview of the next gen. So click select next gen, and it allows us to give it a name, test next gen. It allows us to choose an access level, whether it's private, limited, or open. So it depends who can see it. We'll have this as a private. Our key will be TN, and then we can also change a template. So we can have a Scrum project or a Kanban project. Well, let's try and do a Kanban. A Scrum, sorry, because it's interesting. Because Scrum is much more involved than Kanban. Scrum has sprints and stuff, which Kanban do not. So Kanban mostly just a board and an issue, sometimes a backlog, while Scrum is much more involved. So we want to see how Scrum translates into next gen. So we click select, it's already here. Then we click create. All right, and here's our Scrum project. So now it allows us to pick and choose different elements which we want to include or don't want to include. So they have you can include reports, estimation, release versioning, so a bunch of cool stuff. And it's good that you can select what you need, what you don't need. I actually like to select that I need everything and then might not use it instead of just not have the feature. So, and then let's click go to a project. So here we are, it looks a little bit different. We have our board, usually that says active sprint. Here it just says a board. Usually here we have our board settings where we can change a whole bunch of things. But what I like about it that now you can do it right here. So you can set a column limit. You can delete your board, you can change a name right there, so you don't have to go into a board settings to do a whole bunch of things. Of course, a lot of other things might not be available for you, like if you see, I don't see any quick filters or stuff that we do. You can filter issues, but I don't really see quick filters yet. Mind you, I haven't dig really deep into that. I was mostly doing a classical Jira project, so it's exploration for me as well. So we can click plus and add columns, which is really neat. Before it took you some time to get there, but on the other hand, it might be good because if you have too much power and it's too easy to do, well, sometimes it's not ideal. So let's go to a backlog. And here's our backlog. We can create an issue, test 1. We can move an issue to a sprint. We can start a sprint. And it's pretty similar. And then here we are in our sprint. So instead of active sprints, it just says board. We also have roadmap here, which I don't think we had before, which is pretty cool. We can create epics really easily on our roadmap. We can look at releases, but I think releases were there as well. Reports, I'm pretty sure reports were there as well, but they are really nicely filtered here. Cool thing is settings. I think they redesigned settings, which look to me much better and much easier to do. Here is your project. You still need to go here to delete a project, which probably is a design decision, so you don't just delete a project, but you know how to do it. Still, many people don't know that the button is here. Your add access, which is usually confusing, here is done a nice way, adding people, removing people. So they put it right here for everybody to see. Their issue types, something that, again, you had to go and look for stuff. Here it's a very nice UI now where you can drag and drop things, and it's right at a glance, and it's right at a project level. Very, very nice. And adding issue type became easier. So that's actually a really, really good job, because people had lots of issues with adding issue types. And then features. So again, those features you can enable, disable, and do whatever you want. So I assume if I get rid of roadmap, it just disappears, which is also pretty neat, because you don't want to clutter this with stuff that you don't use. So it's slimmed down for sure. You don't see a bunch of things that you might actually don't need, and I think if you just starting out, you might don't need many of those things. So I'm actually happy that they slimmed it down and just focused on what's important. Next generation looks pretty good. If you have any comments, you found something cool, please put them in the comments down below. As I said, I'm exploring this with you, and I think it is pretty cool. If you like these videos and you think it brought you value, please subscribe to this channel. We'll be talking more about Next Gen as we go along, because I think this might be a default Jira at some point, as sometimes they do. They launch some next generation thing and then becomes the standard. So we're gonna talk more and more about it, and if you want to learn more with me, please subscribe and follow my journey. If you need to set up your Jira and you're totally confused, please go to defineagile.com, schedule a free consultation, and I'll help your business. We also do amazing Agile trainings for teams. People love it. So if this is something you're into, please go, schedule, let's talk. I'll be happy to meet you. It was Anatoly from Define Agile. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.